accelerator call, we were just talking about the difference between Uniswap and Aerodrome. There's key differences with the model. And so Ace, I don't know if you can speak to why you chose the model you chose and just kind of walk us through the basics, the foundation layer of what is Aerodrome, how does it work, and especially how does the reward structure work? Because we are investors, we are liquidity providers, and we want to make sure that we set a solid foundation. So thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, I feel like we should probably break this down and stop me, and you can ask questions along the way because it can probably go on quite a while. It's funny. I was reading a tweet this morning about how DeFi's core primitives are done. Like, we don't need new primitives. We just need users and better coordination techniques. And I think the MetaDex, which comprises Velodrome and Aerodrome, essentially have made the best effort at capturing all of the useful primitives within DeFi, namely the AMM pools, stable swap pools, variable asset pools, volatile asset pools, I should say. So from Curve and Uniswap, and our adaptation of the Uni V3 concentrated liquidity pools, which are called slipstream pools. Tailor each of these for the right assets. Build a voting layer on top that helps direct incentives to the right pools that are most productive, rewarding the voters, with 100% of the protocol rewards, whether they're coming from swap fees or voting incentives, and then making sure liquidity providers are providing the right assets to the pools that are basically the most productive and useful for the DEX. So there's like this incentivization model provides a really, really great balance that sort of self-optimizes based on the market dynamics. And so yeah, like Uniswap has provided foundational technology that has been valuable for many different protocols, including Aerodrome and Velodrome. Curve also, created a very useful, low slippage, very low fee swap design for stable pools that we're actually incorporating as well. The whole idea behind Convex's voting layer and like the bribe system that Andre Cronje came up with is extremely useful to helping protocols effectively bootstrap liquidity, especially those that don't have the means to like hire a market maker and go out and provide liquidity for their token. This is something that DeFi really crowdsources already, and it's one of the reasons it's such a great capital formation tool. So what the MetaDexes have done are pull the best components of DeFi 1.0 or whatever you want to call it, primitives, put them under one roof, and created a balanced model that provides appropriate incentives for all of the parties involved. It's super inspiring. It got me hooked, from the first Solidly article that Andre released on Phantom before, the epic collapse of 2022. But I was, obsessed enough to kind of follow it through the bear market. And yeah, the Velodrome core contributors who built Aerodrome, they basically put this model to the test, and any team that can survive the carnage of 2022, I mean, they launched literally following the Luna collapse right before FTX, exit scammed and everyone kind of the skeletons came out of the closet, and they raised no money. They self-bootstrapped the entire protocol. They survived on the proceeds from the protocol just by, lots and lots of cold outreach to tokens, trying to onboard new partners, make sure that their swap pools were going through to the right big aggregators like 1inch and Paraswap, because all of those little things contributed to fees and voting incentives that they were able to capture and pay the bills during this really, really dark time in DeFi, where a lot of us probably didn't think that this industry could survive. So now that we're on the other side of that, we are thriving. And I think a lot of the ideas of this MetaDex are being validated. And there's obviously a lot of other moving parts. Like, we have to give credit to like the ecosystem partners that we've got with Optimism and Base or Coinbase. But yeah, it's really, really exciting to be a part of, what's being built here.
I just want to add one thing to that, just from a business perspective, because when I am investing in crypto, I get to, like, to me, it's team. I always look at team, and it's like, it's so easy to build something when the times are green and everything is easy. And it's just like, okay, but I want to bet on the scrappy, bootstrapped, made it through hell and back, because if you can turn $1 into 10, I just love bootstrap companies because they know the importance of $1, and they don't have millions of dollars in funding and they just go wasted and have little, I don't know whatever, you get the point. So I love that. It just gives so much more confidence that,
there's a killer competitive instinct that kind of permeates throughout this organization. And it's subtle. Like, you wouldn't know it if you just, heard someone on a podcast or Twitter Spaces, but the strategy behind everything that, the MetaDex does really is from a very competitive standpoint. We know it's not just a technology that's the reason for the success. It's like you said, grit and kind of having situational awareness about where to play and how to play it properly. Mm-hmm. The design of, honestly, the original design of the tokenomics, I think, was a huge part of it. So we'll get into that for Aerodrome for sure. But you're right. It's everyone within this contributor organization is extremely competitive, extremely bought in, and we eat what we kill. I mean, that's, like you said, it's like there's nobody filling our coffers except for ourselves. And that's what's so awesome about DeFi. It's like this whole self-empowerment allows anyone to be successful. And that's what really got me into and inspired me to kind of leave the corporate life behind and go out and try to do this on my own.